the thing is, I try by all means to avoid talking about Zone Farm because, you know, I know there are people that are expecting this comeback. Like there's this Zone Farm coming back. Like Zone Farm is good, working on something. Unfortunately, we are not, you know, working on anything. And on my capacity, you know, I'm just focusing on my music. I really don't know.
Please tune in.
Yo, what's up? It's Confabulation Desk with Patrick Xim, and I'm back with another video. And I would just like to say thanks for everyone for watching my last video. So before we get into today's video, I would just like to mention that do make sure to subscribe to this channel, turn on the bell so that you can be notified every time I upload a video. And always comment, leave your suggestion, what you thought, comment down below, comment section. So in today's video, we'll be talking about this topic. I have an announcement to make actually, guys. There will be no Zone Fam. Never, ever again. No Zone Fam for you people. So for you who have been expecting this comeback, I don't think it will ever happen. So this is after J-Rocks featured in My Diary 7, Diary Station or Diary 7 by, it's like a jump on, a jump off, what do they call them, whatever jump it is, whether jump on or jump off, by KB, you know, the K Army CEO. These are songs where he invites artists from you know, rappers to just pour out their emotions in My Diary. And in My Diary 7, which featured J-Rocks, J.O.B. and Wills, it was yeah, those guys pulling out, you know, they were pouring out their emotions. You know, those guys were just literally just putting out their emotions. And then J-Rox's part came on. Guys, that was J-Rox's line in My Diary. You know, what's the zone? If you know, talked about Zone Fam, you know, basically he was talking about how he felt like he was putting his energy into the wrong thing, and he questioned, if I didn't write, if I wasn't an artist, would my friends, the Zone Fam guys, be with me? Basically that's what he was saying. And he was depressed. They left him in depression because they did not support him. You know the African thing, you have to have visitors, you don't have to be invited at the funeral. But he felt like his friends didn't support him, and he questioned the kind of family that they were and what they claimed to be. He questioned everything that he ever did with his friends. And just want to interest you on the last part of the line. He says, sorry to the fans, but I'm not going back. That's a worry to me. Like, does it mean Zone Fam is not coming back? Yeah, so maybe or maybe not. I don't know what they meant, but what you must know. So if you have questions like, where did Zone Fam come from? So I'll tell you a bit of history here and there. So Zone Fam actually was a studio. Not really. There was a studio known as the Zone Studio. Okay, so everyone who used to record in that studio was a family. Okay, they looked after each other, and they perceived at each one of they perceived each other as family. Okay, so let's listen to what Team had to say. So you've heard, so Zone Fam basically was just a group of people, like it was just a conversation or a jump on station, which they used to call Zone Fam, when everyone from that who used to use the studio, the Zone studio to record, was called the Zone Fam. So there were initially six. As you heard Team say six, and then two of them fell off, and Team was actually the last guy by then. Then Thug was the last person to join the group, and he was the first person to leave the group. So according to Team, the group still exists. Okay, and he's still friends with them. The relationship hasn't changed, but my diary suggests differently. So Zone Fam started, this family that used to record started back in 2009. They formally formed the group in 2009 after they were signed by Slam Dunk Records. Yeah, and they released the debut single Shaka Zulu, and then in 2011 under Slam Dunk Records they released the Business Exchange Rates album, and yeah, they did well, and it was the most selling single actually, the most selling album, sorry. And then in 2012 they signed their first international record deal with Chorus Music from Kenya. And if you can tell, like they in that album, they later released an album in 2013-14 where they had songs like Translate and Contolola. And Contolola was like the hit of the hittest. The song went on to win a Channel O Music Video Awards for Best Group, Duo, or is it Best Group, Duo, or Collaboration. And in that category, there were people like Davido, Thugga. You remember Thugga from South Africa, and there was a guy who featured Akon on his song, and a lot more. And I remember the presenter announcing, the winners are, this lady was like, and the winners are Zone Fam. And she went like, Zone Fam? And they came by, and they were coming off the terraces in these suits, tight suits. Of course, J-Rock's looking the tallest. And yeah, and then the crowd seemed to be lost because the people who were receiving the award were not known by them. It was only when Young Verbal spoke in Nkosa, and he went like, Bayete! Oh, sorry, that's Zulu. That's Zulu. So yeah, that's what basically happened. And in 20, they did a lot of collaborations. It's like, when Zampan came into the music industry, they brought this new flavor, new flair, and the music sounded so different. It's just with every other artist, when this artist comes into the scene, they always sound different from the rest. The sound is so unique. No one does that kind of sound, and Zonfan just brought in this nice thing. The sound was so good, and wow, can't even mention it. The sound was so good, it was so different, and that's why people were feeling them. They went on to win awards in Zambia, like is it Best Shan International Shanshan, the last Born and Bred we held in 2015. Then on April Fool's Day, Team announced his retirement. What can we call it? His retirement or his breakaway from Zone Fam on April Fool's Day in 2015. And yeah, Fool's Day, can you imagine? And people thought, oh, maybe Team is just fooling us. That kind of thing. He's just fooling us. Oh yeah, he's fooling us. And then people waited, like and people were waiting at, okay, for him to just say Happy Fool's Day, but that didn't come. Like, it never came at all. And Tim was like, no, I want to minister to people through music. I want to bring people to the saving knowledge of Christ. I've led a lot of people kumavina na fuengulisa maningi bantu misana. So funa mbe nibweze glory kwa mbuye. Basically, I don't know what, but here's what Team had to say about leaving Zone Fam. And then when it came to J-Rock, so mostly on my diary 7, I'm thinking, why did J-Rock say sorry to the fans, but I'm not going back? I'm like, why? Was the depression? So I'm thinking Zone Fam is normal, and then there'll be no Zone Fam ever coming back. So J-Rock is like, I'm not going back to Zone Fam, and Zone Fam will never come back again. But what you must know is, here's what J-Rock had to say about Zone Fam and how they felt.
Yeah, I'll probably have to sit down one day and write a book about Zone Farm and everything, so we can give more closure to the people.
Yeah.
But one of the reasons I wouldn't like to speak for the other guys, but I think I can speak for myself. I just felt like my life was progressing in a different space, and I needed to stand as a man to be able to give my kids extra. You know what I mean? And the group at the time, you know, we had a lot of things going on and having different pressures. You know, I felt like my pressure was a bit more, and I needed to stand on my own, and that's the reason why I decided to do my personal, my solo career. And I do not regret standing on my own, you know, because at the end of the day, I'm my own person. You know, everyone is an individual. So if we focus and just sit down and do things as a group, so many times you find I'll find myself struggling to sort out certain bills. You know, and I couldn't be in that place, you know, so I had to make the move.
Firstly, Reggie is all the way in SA. Verbal is all the way in SA. He moved back. And the dynamics now are just different. Like, you grow, man, you know? And as you grow, you have more responsibility. You know, and
pretty much now.
Yeah, and no matter how well you're doing, if you have to split your money 5, 6, 7, 4, 3, 2 ways, it's still at the end of the day not enough for you to provide for
your family.
For family. Jay's a family man, you know that.
He's a family man.
Wife and kids, yeah. So it's we all have so many responsibilities, and it just wasn't working out that way.
So you decided if we did, if we pushed our solo careers, if we got paid individually, it would be better.
Well, Zone Fam was just put on hold. This is unrelated to why I left, but Zone Fam was just put on hold for now. But the guys will probably make music together. It'll probably
but then if they're gonna make music together and ride as Zone Fam the way they did before, then you're saying that they have to now forget about their responsibilities.
No, I'm saying if it happens, it will happen.
But do you think do they plan on doing music as Zone Fam again?
Yeah.
Maybe in the next 10 years?
No, very soon.
So right now I'm feeling it was maybe about money. Maybe J-Rocks is a family man, of course, and he felt like he wasn't getting enough of money because he has a lot of responsibilities, wife and kids. So of course, when you're sharing money, it's always that way. So young Verbal though, Verbal, based in South Africa, but likes to bring his music to Zambia. He feels he's affiliated, you know, has relation to Zambia. So young Verbal, they were young Verbal say, well, we're focusing on our solo careers right now, and then we can come back anytime. Just like it was like a group of people who come together to sing songs, who come together. When they come together, it's called Zone Fam. So they're not three. So if they come together to do music, it's called Zone Fam. Different artists, solo artists. So he says it's just a group of solo artists who come together, and when they come together, it's called Zone Fam. So Zone Fam is still there. He emphasized that it's still there. Well, I don't know, but if Zone Fam is still there, well, J-Rox's sentiments worry me a lot. But Doc G, here's what Doc G had to say. He said, well, Zone Fam has an album which just lays in limbo, and it can come out anytime and it can still be a thing. So Zone Fam has actually recorded music, and they can release it anytime. It doesn't mean they have started recording again. They have recorded it with data. They're just people who are in charge of that album, and if they want to release it, it can be a thing. So up to now, we're still waiting for Team's album. Team's album is not yet out. I don't know why, but wow, I must say we've been waiting since 2017 when he released his Heartbeat single. Since that time, well, I haven't seen anything from Team. Haven't heard anything from him. I'm happy Oh, thanks so much for watching this video. Do make sure to click that subscribe button, and I'm out of here, guys. Thanks for watching the video. Check
Are you guys working on something? Or maybe you're just going solo, but we want you guys on an album.
I'm saying. I'm sorry, like I really don't have the answers. I've been answering these questions for a really long time. So for this particular question, I don't know, man. Like they'll Google it.
You do have something cooking up in the studio,
Yeah,
right?
first of all, we had an entire album recorded, which is just there. Like the songs which are on it, like, you know, they can come out today and still be a thing. So yeah, I guess, you know, the music is there, and the people in charge of that, they are they're delegating. So whatever.
Okay, let me settle a few things. With Zone Fam, the real fans know, before we started Zone Fam, we were individual artists in the camp, Slam Dunk Records, like we're individual artists. So we decided to come together and start a group, right? And hence you have Zone Fam. So what people need to understand is that when the Zone Fam album came out, and you know, the success and everything that happened with Zone Fam, we got to a point where we needed like to retract a little bit and focus on solo projects. Because I mean, you're talking about having 4 talented guys, right, who've got like individual aspirations as well, like in terms of the music career. So we decided that, look, we can actually do individual albums and then come back to it. This is what we keep on explaining. It's not like, you know, the camp died, or, you know, like it's no more. Like we just needed to do something different. Like you get caught up in a bubble when you're working for so long. So I know a lot of people right now pulling faces like, oh no, you know, but you know, you guys haven't dropped anything. Yes, because like, you know, we're focusing on individual career paths right now. And I know I haven't dropped anything because, like I said, the time when we decided to take the individual album aspect, that's the time when I went back to South Africa. Look, I won't lie, I had to switch off completely, you know what I mean? I had to switch off and like just focus on other things completely and totally, you know. And that was at the time when Rox was working on his album as well. Funny enough, even while we were doing the Zone Fam thing, like bros were working on their solo albums, you know, like guys were in studio, guys were recording, and Rox just had more material and he was ready to drop. Me personally, I was not ready to drop an album at that time. I just wasn't ready. I know Tim is only working on his album now. Dope only started working on his album like later on after Rox dropped his, you know. So if you look at the roster, right, Rox has dropped his album and another one, right? Dope has dropped his album. Tim is dropping his album. And yes, I keep on saying Tim because to me Tim will always be his own fan member, you know what I mean, regardless of like what path he chooses to do his music, you know what I mean, like those are my brothers, you know what I mean. So Tim is dropping his album next year, I'm dropping my album next year. Y'all just gotta be patient, bro. Like let us put out our music, you know what I mean. And I know like a lot of people were upset when we took that route, you know, because I mean it's not something exactly like we announced or anything like that, you know what I mean. But it was something that needed to be done, you know what I mean. Like it needed a breather. In any case, when the zone, if the zone is to come back, or when it does, like y'all won't be ready to begin with anyway. So you know, patience is a virtue.